Jehovah's Witnesses do not care about real truth. They will always, always, always put the man-made organization, they will always put the governing body leaders over the Bible, over actual truth, over facts. Now, you guys know my situation. You guys know, most of you guys know how I got reinstated, even when I was a full-blown apostate, right? And this situation made me realize that Jehovah's Witnesses don't care about facts. So I woke up while I was the fellowship, and the way that I got the fellowship made me realize that I was in an organization that was run by men who wanted to abuse their power. And one thing about me, I don't play that shit. I don't tolerate shit from nobody. I don't care who you are. But these elders decided to forcefully defellowship me. And that made me realize that, like I said, this organization is run by men that wants to abuse their power and not actually help people, right? So when I was the fellowship, I said, you know what? I'm gonna prove to everybody just how fake and phony this organization really is. Because when people get the fellowship, Jehovah's Witnesses really believe that the elders have God's backing on the matter, right? They really believe that the elders have God's backing on the matter. That's why no one questions the elders when they defellowship people. Because all an elder has to do is lie and say, oh, well, we prayed about it. This answer is from Jehovah, like they did with me. That's the same line that they gave me. Gerard, we prayed about it. You're going to be the fellowship. This is from Jehovah. No. This is from your bitch ass. This is not from God. Do not throw God in the mix. This is from you. And I'm going to prove to everybody just how much Holy Spirit you elders don't have. So I woke up when I was the fellowship. I did my research. I discovered that I was in a man-made organization, right? I said, you know what? I'm going to allow the elders to reinstate me while I'm the fellowship, and then I'm going to expose them for the con artists that they are. Because keep in mind, when you're the fellowship and when you're reinstated, the elders supposedly pray about it and they get an answer from Jehovah, supposedly, right? Which is bullshit. But anywho, that's how it goes, right? So I allowed the elders to reinstate me just so that I can expose them for the con artists that they are, for the frauds that they are, for the frauds, because they don't have Holy Spirit. There's no Holy Spirit guiding them, nothing, right? It's just three men trying to play God. So once I got reinstated, a few weeks later, I exposed the elders and I said, it must be obvious that the elders don't have Holy Spirit, because how did they reinstate an apostate? If I was just testing the Holy Spirit, how did 6 elders in 2 different congregations, Bradhurst congregation in Harlem, New York City, and the Waikiki congregation in Honolulu, Hawaii, how did 6 elders in 2 different congregations supposedly pray to Jehovah, and the Holy Spirit compelled them to reinstate me when I was a full-blown apostate just testing out the Holy Spirit? You can't make this up. So I prove that elders have 0 Holy Spirit, that this is a man-made organization, right? Tell me why, even after I've shown everybody that this is all fake, my family, my former Jehovah's Witness friends, they still took the sides of the elder. They're still in the organization, even when I've clearly proven to them that elders have no Holy Spirit. Because if they had Holy Spirit, I would have never been reinstated. Keep in mind, guys, I was an apostate just testing out this Holy Spirit theory. Because when the elders, the fellowship me, that's the bullshit line that they gave me. Oh, we prayed about it, Jerron. This is from Jehovah. You're going to be the fellowship. This is from Jehovah. So I said, let me pull the reverse Uno on these elders. Let me let them reinstate me, and then I will expose them. So tell me how I did that and my family still shunned me. That tells me right there that my family, just like the majority of Jehovah's Witnesses, don't care about actual truth. Because if you care about actual truth, you would be like, oh shit, Jerron, he's proven to everybody that elders don't have Holy Spirit. The elders reinstated him when he was just pretending. When he was just testing out the Holy Spirit, the elders still reinstated him. What? So that means Jerron was right. He was right after all. Let me do my research on this religion, because these elders clearly don't have Holy Spirit. You see, in retrospect, that should have happened. That should have happened. But my mom still decided to side with this religion, still decided to side with the organization, even when she had facts. She had hardcore facts in front of her face. I did it. I've shown her. I've proven to her, my brothers, everybody, the Jehovah's Witness community, everybody, that elders don't have Holy Spirit. I've shown everybody that these elders are fakes. And it made me realize that Jehovah's Witnesses, they care way more about this organization. Even when it's false. It's clear that it's a false, man-made organization, but yet they will reside with the organization over facts, over actual truth. Now, when an ex-member wakes up, right? A lot of times we feel compelled to tell our Jehovah's Witness family and friends, hey guys, this is not the truth. I encourage you to do your research. Please. Like I did. That's what I did, right? And of course, it backfired. It shouldn't even backfire. When I think about it, I'm scratching my head like, why is this so difficult? You think that people at the end of the day, you would think that people don't want to be lied to. You would think that people don't want to waste their life. You would think that people care about truth, actual truth. But no. In the Jehovah's Witness world, people care more about their community. They care more about their comfort zone. They care more about their family than they care about actual truth. They don't care about truth. That's for damn sure. Because if witnesses cared about truth, right? In my situation, if my family, my mom, my two brothers, if they cared about truth, what I did and the way that I proved that the elders had no Holy Spirit, my family should have been on my side. Because I've proven to them, just like I've proven to everybody else, these elders and elders in general are frauds, they're fakes, they have no Holy Spirit. So if somebody is proving to you that the elders have no Holy Spirit, why don't you side with the person who's showing you the real truth? But instead, you're going to side with a man-made organization. And you know what? All these witnesses that's siding with the man-made organization, they're going to reap what they sow. My mom, my mom decided to side with the organization, even when I proven to her that this is fake. This is all fake. She still wants to side with the organization. So unfortunately, she's just gonna have to grow old and eventually pass away and die believing in a lie. That is what we call poetic justice. Because had she listened to her son, she would have saw this organization for what it really is. She decided not to go that route. She decided to stay in her comfort zone because she's given 40 years to this organization. But this is how easy this should be. Every former member should easily be able to tell their Jehovah's Witness family and friends, hey guys, I love you. Please, please, please do your research. I don't want you to waste your life waiting for a paradise that's never going to happen. This is a man-made organization. If you don't believe me, please do your research. And the family members should be like, wait, hold on. This is all fake. You did your research? You found out that this is a fake organization? Let me do my research because I do not want to waste my life. But instead, we know that doesn't happen as a witness, right? You can't tell a Jehovah's Witness to do your research. This is a man-made organization. You could say that, but 9 times out of 10 is going to backfire. And it shouldn't even have to backfire. Because at the end of the day, everybody should care about truth. Everybody should care about facts. So what? Who cares if they're talking bad about the organization? Is your allegiance with the organization or is your allegiance with God? And if the organization contradicts the Bible, if the organization contradicts what they said previously, why would you still remain in the organization? Why would you reside in an organization that continues to contradict itself? Better yet, why would you remain in an organization that's run by a group of men that, from their own mouth, they told the rank and file, they told all the witnesses that they're not even inspired by God. And it's so obvious that these men are not inspired by God. It is so obvious. It's so obvious that this is a money-making, man-made corporation. That's all it is. But you know, I'm somebody that cares about actual truth. That's why it doesn't faze me, not anymore that is. It doesn't faze me that I don't have my family anymore in my life. Because you can't bribe me. See, this organization, they bribe people, right? They try to blackmail people emotionally by threatening to take away their family, their community. So now you're forced to be fake. You're forced to remain in this organization and be a fake individual just to keep your family and friends. You see, that doesn't work with me. That doesn't work with me. Because at the end of the day, I will always care about actual truth. I will always care about facts. You can't bribe me with my family and community. That's not going to work. You telling me to choose between being real? So I either have to be fake and keep my family and JW community, or I'm real and I lose my Jehovah's Witness family community. I will always choose to be real, no matter what. Because I care about truth. Now, when I did my research, I saw that Jeffrey Jackson was lying under oath. There was no way in hell, I repeat, there is no way in hell I was going to remain a witness. There's no way in hell. I'm sorry. If a governing body leader can lie, meanwhile, he's telling witnesses all this time, they're telling witnesses, oh, if you need to go to prison for Jehovah. If you need to lose your life for Jehovah. But yet, a governing body leader was found lying under oath in the Australian Royal Commission. Once I saw that, I realized that, oh shit, if the governing body leader is lying, that means he doesn't believe in this. If he doesn't believe in this, why would I continue believing this nonsense? I care about truth. I don't care about no man-made organization. I don't care about no elders, no governing body leaders. I care about truth. But it's sad that there's millions of Jehovah's Witnesses that they don't care about that. They don't care about real truth. They're mentally and physically ready to grow old and eventually die over something that's not even real. Giving up their entire life for a pipe dream, a paradise pipe dream that's never, ever going to come. And then when you encourage them to use their brain and to think critically, to do research, no, we don't want to do that. Why would we think critically? Why would we do research when we have the governing body leaders to do that? The governing body leaders, they do all the thinking for us. So let me get this straight. You got a bunch of uninspired men who keeps getting their doctrines wrong, who keeps flip-flopping things. You got a bunch of these men, keep in mind, they're not even inspired by God. But yet, you got these men thinking for you? Is that what you mean to tell me? Do you know how dumb that sounds? Do you know how dumb that sounds to have witnesses stand in front of carts, lying to themselves and lying to everybody else, saying, oh, we have a message. We have a message for everybody. What's the message? You're not even speaking to people in the cart. You're not even speaking to people anymore. When they're in front of the carts, they're not engaging in any type of conversations. They're waiting for other people to talk to them. So what's the life-saving message? What's the message? You see, they're not even truthful with themselves. Because if a witness was truthful with themselves, they would be like, hold on, what's the life-saving message that we're talking about? We're supposed to be preaching. But you would literally have witnesses stand in front of a cart for 8 hours, not speak to one person. They'll go home, pat themselves on the back, and feel like they did a good job. But yet, they're supposed to be spreading a positive message. They're supposed to be talking about the end of days. But in reality, they're not talking about shit. They're not even talking to anybody, like I just said. And you know what? They're standing in front of carts all because the governing body leaders instructed them to do so. But deep down inside, witnesses know that this is not an effective way to preach. I don't even call it preaching, to be honest. I'm not even call it preaching because they're not even engaging in conversations with other people. They're just standing there looking like a damn mannequin. Going back to what I said earlier about the research, right? About doing research, how when ex-members do their research, this is how easy it should be. They should be able to tell their Jehovah's Witness family and friends, hey guys, I did my research, this is not the truth. And if witnesses really, really cared about truth, right? I'm not talking about the organization. If they cared about facts, they would feel obligated to listen to ex-members when we tell them, do your research. You see, when you care about facts, when you care about truth, and someone says something negative about your organization, that wouldn't mean a damn thing. Because at the end of the day, you would have the mindset of, oh shit, this person did the research. Let me hear them out. Let me do my research also, because I don't want to waste my life away. But Jehovah's Witnesses, as we know, they stand up for the organization no matter what. The minute you say anything negative about the organization, they get defensive when they shouldn't be defensive at all. They should not be defensive at all. And they're only defensive because deep down inside, if what you're saying is true, that means they wasted decades of their life for nothing. So it's easier for them to shun you, ostracize you, than for them to come to the conclusion that they wasted all this precious time. They don't want to have to face the music. But guess what, Jehovah's Witnesses? You're going to have to face the music one way or another. One way or another, you're going to have to face the music, because you're either going to come to the conclusion now, when you do your research that this is a man-made organization, either now or you're just going to have to grow old, and then it's going to hit you like a ton of bricks. It's going to hit you like a ton of bricks that paradise is not coming. It's going to hit you like a ton of bricks that you wasted your entire fucking life telling people, oh, the end is right around the corner. Oh, we're living in the great tribulation's right around the corner. We're living in the last days. You're going to be saying that shit your entire life until you grow old. And then it's going to hit you that you said all that shit, you was preaching, you went to the meeting, you did all that for nothing. For nothing. Because you're just going to end up dying like everybody else. And the difference is, when I die versus a Jehovah's Witness, I'm going to die living my life authentically. I'm going to die doing the things I wanted to do. When Jehovah's Witnesses die, their entire life, they slave for a man-made organization. They did nothing for themselves. And then they grow old and die. But it's sad that witnesses, they don't care about truth. The governing body leaders, at this point, they can literally say anything. They can say anything. And Jehovah's Witnesses will not question. They will blindly believe. They'll just go with the flow until they grow old and die. It truly is a waste of a life being a Jehovah's Witness. It truly is. Because you constantly have to lie to yourself. You constantly have to tell yourself, we're living in the last days. Paradise is going to be here any day now. And I constantly have to remind Jehovah's Witnesses that they've been saying this for 150 fucking years. So you can lie to yourself all you want. Like I said, at one point or another, you're going to have to face the music. At one point or another, you're going to have to come to the conclusion that paradise ain't coming. And it shouldn't be when you're in your 80s or 90s and you look back at your life and you wasted all these decades. That shouldn't have to be the case. Just like my mom, for instance, like I said in the beginning of this the video, I did something that no ex-member has ever done. I've proven that these elders are full of shit. They have no Holy Spirit, that this is a man-made organization. But yet, my mom, 2 brothers, everybody I've known growing up, they still decided to side with the organization. Even when they had facts right in front of them. Remember, I've proven to them, elders don't have Holy Spirit, because I should have never been reinstated. But they reinstated me anyway. It just goes to show that Jehovah's Witnesses, they care about community. They care, like I said, they care about their damn comfort zone. And that comfort zone is going to be the death of them. It truly is. Anyway, guys, I love you. I'll see you guys on the next one.